So I've been thinking a lot about how hard it is to take your digital footage and turn it into a film emulation look. Now this is something that even intermediates and a lot of beginners struggle with because it's a skill. It's not just super easy to do. Like, you kind of have to be a little bit more on the advanced side to do this. And there's a lot of film emulation plugins or effects that you can just throw on and it'll kind of make it look like a certain camera, but they never seem quite right, and I feel like the reason for that is because you don't have control. And luckily for the people over at Dehancer, they sent me a plugin called Dehancer Pro. This is a all-in-one. You have full control over what you want your footage to look like. It has stuff from grain, halation, and even you can plug in certain cameras that you want it to look like, and it'll try and analyze the image and make it look as good as it can. Now, a quick disclaimer, Dehancer did send me this and want me to review it, but I am being completely honest with you guys. They're not holding me on what I can say. They want to use my feedback to help improve their product as well. So let's go ahead and check it out and see if it's any good. So first, I'm just going to show you guys what Dehancer looks like and show you guys actually how to put it into your timeline. You do buy the product, they give you an explanation of literally everything that this product does, which I love. They don't hide anything from you. They're super open about it. So to put it in your timeline, you're in your timeline, right? You go over to the color tab, and I like to just always add a new node whenever I'm adding, you know, a plugin or something that can affect my image, obviously. I add a new node, and then what I can do is I just scroll all the way down to the bottom. It's at the bottom for me. And you just drag this onto your actual clip. What it's doing right now is it's taking Rec 709 and applying just kind of basic stuff. So this is Kodak Vision 3 250D. So it's already kind of doing its own thing right now. So with film, you can just go ahead and disable that, and you can see it kind of gets rid of that. Kind of already turns on a lot of automatic settings, so I like to just kind of go through and make sure that everything is disabled. So expand's already on, prints on, film grain's already on. As you can very much see the difference. If I toggle that on and off, you can see that film grain really popping through. So I just like to kind of make sure that all my settings that I'm not really going to use is turned off. And as you can see, just scrolling through, there is so many different options in this thing. Like, it's actually insane. It's just all in one for you. It's not too crazy or you have to get a bunch of different things. Like, they just give it all to you, which is super nice. Usually what you should do with Dehancer and stuff like this, and in fact I'm just going to throw on a real quick color grade, is you want to have your base color grade done before you do any of your creative stuff. So technically I shouldn't have thrown it on you, but it's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and add a new node, and I'm just going to quickly do a quick color grade. Nothing too crazy. So as you can see, I just did a really basic color grade, and you can kind of see how this looks. It looks pretty, it's all right. This is nothing crazy. This is super simple color grading. So what I'm actually going to do to show you a cool feature about Dehancer is I'm going to delete this, go over to Dehancer and do choose camera in your input, and then vendor, we're on Sony, we're on the A7 IV, and we shot this in Gamut S3. So you can see you can actually already just input what camera you used, and it's already going to do the basic correction and inputting that color, so you can actually start your color grade. So you can actually just change your exposure right here as well in Dehancer. It's got temperature as well, which is nice. Tint, got all of that just basic stuff, which is super, super nice. So that's one of my favorite things about it. You don't have to create a separate node for your color space transform. Boom, they built it in for you. But if you still want to put your color space transform in before, that's totally understandable, and you can just turn off the input so that it doesn't automatically do that for you. Going into a lot of what this program does for you, so you got film developer, you got film, you got compression, expand, list goes on and on. Film grain and halation are obviously going to be what more people use. Bloom is super nice if you want your backlights to kind of pop a little bit with that halation. The nice thing too about just all of these different settings is you can choose what you want the program to emulate. So if you go to film damage, the profile, that's what's going to affect the actual halation or film damage. Is going to try and emulate that specific camera type, which is super cool. I want to just go over some of my favorite things and then maybe some of the drawbacks of this program. So film, first of all, this little section over here in your color, you can choose what profile you want it to be. So if you want it to be looking like a Kodak, Polaroids, you can do that. You got Fuji color, or sorry, Fuji Chrome and Fuji color, excuse me. But you just got so many different options. So let's kind of play around and see what we kind of like. Let's turn this on. So just turning it on, you can see that it's kind of already trying to emulate that specific film look, which is super cool. So let's try and look for something a little bit warm. I like to get a little bit warm, but here's the cool thing. Let's find something that's, you know, that we just kind of like real quick. So we're gonna go with the natural because this kind of just gives a kind of basic film look. And then what you can do is you can actually push and pull how much it's doing. You can see right here what it's affecting. It's mostly affecting those back trees, but you can really see kind of what it's already doing. So let's just kind of keep it in the middle for now. Actually, we'll push it just a little bit. Or sorry, we'll pull it back just a little bit. I just don't want it to do too much yet because I want to have control over what I'm doing in my color. So now that we got that, again, we can go back to input. I want it to be a little bit more warm. So I'm going to push in a little bit more of those warm tones. Just a little bit. I don't want too much. Just let's do a solid like 10 right there. Next, let's do a little bit of film grain. I like adding a little bit of film grain, not too much. And again, as you can see in the menu itself, it's got 8mm all the way to 65. So, and it actually gives you the different ISO options. So basically what that's doing with your film is you have your film stock, and then that has a base ISO with it. So a higher ISO usually has a little bit more noise. So we're gonna do like a 16mm, I like 16, and we'll do 250 ISO. Go ahead and turn that on to see what's doing. And if we zoom in really close, you can see the difference between off, on. You can see it's actually doing a lot. And you can change the amount, so I'm gonna drag it back a little bit. We're gonna go like 20%, just add a little bit. And you can see that it's adding just a little bit of that film kind of grain in the image, giving you that nice film look. Some other cool things that I really like is the film damage on this. I think it's one of the better looking film damages out there. So film damage is, let's go ahead and play this through and push it a lot. So playing this through, if you look really, really closely in the image, you can see there's these little white specks that are kind of popping up. That's what film damage is. It happens on a lot of film cameras, is you get a little bit of film damage, so you can change that percentage as well. I like having a little bit of film damage if I'm going for a film look. I think it just really sells it a little bit more than a lot of other products out there where you just throw in a LUT, doesn't give you the film damage, and then you can kind of tell that it's artificially made, to where I feel like, honestly, at this point even, I can kind of be like, I would honestly kind of believe this is film. Now, obviously, looking really closely, you can tell it's not, but this program does a really good job of trying to emulate that and just giving you full control. So that's pretty much like the basics of the program. There's a lot of other stuff that I don't quite understand a whole ton. I've still been trying to get a little bit more deep into this program and understand it well, but just based off the basics, it gives you so much to work off. Let's turn off that vignette, that looks terrible. Now to go over one of my favorite things about this program, this has got to be the top one for me. It beats the halation, it beats the film damage that I all love about this program and makes it look really good, is that it's got a LUT generator. So what a LUT generator will do, so you can change your LUT sizes, you can see over down here at the bottom, and you have disable input transform, which essentially we have our input set in this so we don't have to use a color space transform. But let's say that you're shooting weddings and you like the film look, and obviously you're going to use that LUT a lot, and maybe you need to get it to a different PC that doesn't have Dehancer or whatever it may be. And what you can do is you can export this LUT, so if you are on Davinci on a different thing that doesn't have Dehancer on it, I think they give you 2 keys so you can have it on 2 different devices. For any reason, if you need to export a LUT, they built that in for you so that you don't have to worry about that. But now let's go ahead and talk about the price. So I kind of like how they do their pricing here. So they have the 1 month, 3 month, and 1 year subscription, I believe, and then they have a lifetime. Honestly, if you're going to get this program, I would get the lifetime. It runs for about $449, I believe. You can double check the website, dehancer.com. You can use code GENS for a 10% off discount. That is my code, and it'll actually help support me as a creator. So if you guys are interested in buying this program, make sure to use the code if you guys are interested in this, because then that's just going to save you a little bit of money. The reason I'm saying to get a lifetime membership is that's like one of the main reasons I switched to Davinci, is that they have a lifetime. One-time pay, you're done. You don't have to worry about it ever. It's yours forever. Instead of a monthly subscription where they're charging you like $50 a month like Adobe, and you have to pay for all the programs, and it just gets messy, and it's like, I would rather just pay for the program one time, get it, and be done. So that is my opinion on Dehancer. I'm very, very happy with how this program's been running so far. I've used it quite a few times. If you guys have any questions about the program, please let me know down in the comments. I'm more than happy to help you guys out. If you guys have a question about something specific on what we checked out today, or if it has a certain feature, again, let me know. Feel free to go ahead and subscribe as well. We're trying to hit 100 by the end of the month, and we will see you guys in the next video. Again, thank you, Dehancer, for setting up this video.